Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with
Dave.
And today we're going to do a Game Master's tip / world building, and I'm calling this the Hall of the Ages.
You guys can drop down to the description below where you can find Nerdarchy the newsletter. We can get weekly tips as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So in our world, we have already shared information that the gods have realized every so often that what's currently going on is a mistake. And they kind of like sweep their godlike hands through the world and pull all the influences that they don't like, and they just shove it into another plane. And like, all right, you get your own demi-plane. You're over there. Go have fun. And we've seen the dragons, the Vargarians, and clues have kind of come out through your game that there's probably been a lot of these type of things that have happened, and it begged the question of like, all right, do they always get every little scrap? What do they do after they've created the demi-plane? So I was like, well, what if we had this place that the gods take like a second look and they pull out the smaller things and they make what we would call as the Hall of the Ages?
When you brought this up, I actually, what jumped to my mind is actually one god that does this.
Okay.
Yeah, before they're done sweeping everything away, one god grabs the more interesting things from that age and drops it into this place.
Okay.
This museum, and probably Quinthel would be our best god for doing this.
Wow, that's evil.
Why is it evil?
I would think like whoever would be at the top that would make this decision, because Quinthel is in
mysteries, knowledge, secrets. I think that's the god that would want this stuff to keep around the antiquities.
Okay, I was saying she would be the one to hold on to the stuff, but a different god goes in and sweeps.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't.
Right.
She doesn't.
Yeah. Right.
She doesn't make the choice. Like our version of Odin, Zeus, whatever. That's
okay. All right. Now I'm on board. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like shoving things off to the side. That doesn't seem like her thing. But her making this hall, absolutely, I'm all for it.
And she probably doesn't like. It's a secret from everybody, even the other gods don't know. She's not talking like And then like for whatever reason, maybe she's hidden this place on Ulfganya, our prime material plane, because she to remove it from there might signal the other gods or make others more aware of it on a celestial level. So to keep it on the down low, she keeps it. She's got this museum on Ulfganya hidden away. But you know what we need for this museum?
A caretaker?
We need a curator. Absolutely. Someone who takes care of the place, watches it, and someone that will live forever and not die, because that would be really inconvenient. Unless it's like a mantle that gets passed.
It could either be a mantle, or it could be like one of the original elves when they were still immortal.
Yeah, I mean, that would work. So like I'm torn, like I'm kind of torn between like the idea of a mantle that passes, so you can like do different ones, and or almost, or some kind of golem or warforged or something like that, something that has the ability to keep living. That's definitely one to workshop. Or like you said, it could be the first elf. That would work as well, or maybe something of another race. The first of. I mean, in one of my games, I introduced the idea of, the extremely magically powerful giants that weren't what giants are now.
Right.
We've also discussed having like this Arcanum type race of uber powerful mages, that we basically have arcane golems lying around that are basically like mechs,
right?
Which I was given a really cool idea from Garth's sketchbook. I forget what it is.
Garth's sketch.
Yeah. For the junkyard of having, because I was thinking like of having like a giant electromagnetic arm that moves around, and he had said something about golem arms instead that get animated.
Right.
So now I'm thinking, the crane will be like
this giant hand.
Yeah, this giant mech arm.
That's nice.
That the harpies use to move things about. Maybe they have a couple of them.
Right.
and it's fueled and powered by magical energies, which the Harpies have this magic song they could use. So that's kind of my idea
Not the
for
little
that.
goblins on the little bikes.
No, not the goblins on the bikes. That's something completely different. But
Right,
the
so-
reason I bring it up is because these like mechs or parts of these mechs, maybe there's actually like a full one
Oh, absolutely.
that that's stashed away in there.
Yeah, I would think that there would need to be a full suit that's in pristine condition. It gets dusted by the unseen servants that are a permanent thing here. They dust and keep everything nice and clean. And
There's probably like 1 to 3 artifacts from each age. Mm-hmm. And they just keep accumulating. They just kept accumulating over the time. But so the scary thing is like this place is full of artifacts
right.
that you could unleash on on the world at any given time.
Well, I would imagine whatever curator is there is beyond an epic level situation. Like they've been around since
The dawn of time.
since either the dawn of time or but prior to the decision to, all right, we're gonna wipe.
Yeah.
Like the first time that something gets wiped, Quenthel, in
It's
her
going to be
godlike
like, oh, this
power
is all going to be lost.
it's like, all right, boom, she snaps her fingers, takes someone and, says, all right, you're going to be the thing, you're here. And even if it's a mantle that goes through, like the mantle could accrue power as well because it needs to be able to defend. And okay, so let's suppose sometime down the line an adventuring party makes its way to the Hall of the Ages. Like, they're not storming these gates. Like, this is a place that's defended by a god and has a almost godlike being itself as a curator. Like, okay, we can have a nice little tour. Let's look at stuff. Oh, you actually want something. Well, you need to convince this curator to be allowed to take a thing as long as it's coming back. Because, that's the thing. And there could literally be the magics of, okay, you can have this for a cycle of the moon, and then it literally weaves its intricate magic, as a simple little fluttering of its hand, and motes of magic sparkle down upon it. It's like, all right, you now have 30 days, and that will return here.
I kind of want to have this figures circulating their head. Is all these like they're almost like they look like black ion stones, right?
Okay.
Except for they have the ability to expand or shrink these things, right? And by stones I mean spheres, right? They're little spheres circulating, this individual's head. Maybe one for each age, or maybe some for some other reason we come up with a number.
Okay.
Let's just say 9 for now.
Okay.
And this is their primary way of defending the museum. Their spheres of annihilation.
Okay.
I just feel like that this place is going to be so magic rich and so powerful, and then anyone that ever finds out about it is going to want to storm these walls and take everything in there. Especially any great power of evil. Mm-hmm. You need a way to say this is not going to happen.
Right.
Or it's got to be something that is so badass that if it does happen, like gods are dropping their jaws. Like how does this happen?
Right.
So I feel like the first defense is just that it's such a well guarded secret. Mm-hmm. And then the next the next line of defense is it's someplace that it's fairly inaccessible. It's hard to get to.
I would actually put this as like a floating island.
So you're thinking floating city?
Yeah.
Or island or whatever. Definitely a possibility.
That's the way I see it, based off of the
Because I guess that makes sense. Like I was going to bury it, but then I'm like, you know what? You're right, because you also kind of want it to be a place of beauty.
Yes, I see it. I see it majestic. I see it as in a place where it's in the clouds, and it gets to
maybe there's a zoo too.
That'd be a wonderful idea. And then as you look out, you see, the beautiful sky, you see the clouds, and you see the peaks of, the greatest mountains that strive above, that have grown above the clouds. So you have this wondrous view, and like literally you're in the heavens when you're there.
I almost want to mash together an elf and a cloud giant.
Okay.
Like, I for some reason, I want this being to be enormous. I don't know why.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to go with that, but it's just a thought. And I just see him walking around, like, in the toga, just kind of like, enjoying the museum and truly just loving their job.
Yeah.
But they get lonely, so occasionally when they do find a visitor, they don't necessarily have to annihilate them right away.
They want to have a conversation. It's like, oh, well, what can you tell me of the world? And
what has transpired? What has gone on? Oh, and by the way, I cannot let you leave. 9 spheres of annihilation slamming together.
Well, I mean, it doesn't need to use 9 if it has the ability to make them, shrink and grow at its leisure.
That's true.
There you go. You guys are gone. Thank you for your time here. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much. You are the weakest link.
I wasn't gonna go there.
But yeah, like and it's really they're just doing their job.
Right.
And they'd probably have like towards the end of the meeting and the conversation, they'd just be filled with all this regret. But then, the secret must be preserved.
Well, I mean, what if it had the ability to, again, what if it was a super powerful magical thing? Like it could teleport people away, as well as people to it if need be, but like leaving there through this magic. Like you don't remember how to get back, or you don't remember being there, or whatever.
Ooh,
like,
what if we did the ion, like that? They're like ion stones, but what if we did like there's 9 circling spheres, and they each had like a different function, like almost like the eyes of a beholder.
Yeah.
Only on like an epic level.
Right.
And one of them will be annihilation.
Oh,
but,
yeah, completely. But could be literally a mind wipe. But a surgeon's mind wipe as opposed to just a blank, you're a zombie.
Yeah.
You've got to go in and like, okay, well, I'm going to remove all knowledge of this place. And it's like, okay, they remember, all right, I quested to get this item to be able to do this thing. I've got this thing. And somehow I know that in 30 days it's going to disappear. But I can't remember how I got it,
where it came from,
or why it's leaving in 30 days. So like it could be that expert surgeon situation, so that you could literally have a campaign get to this place without saying, okay, well, now that you're here, your characters are going to be ended.
Well, yeah, you don't want to do that. No, but that would be like the interesting part of, how do you keep your characters from not being ended? Like, once they realize that they've gone to this trouble, and obviously as a GM, if you're going to introduce something like this, you're not going to send them there just to die. There's got to be a bigger overarching story than that. Well, maybe. It depends on the GM, I guess. Here's the thing you need. Oh, by the way, you die just before you get it. No rolls, nothing. Just dead. No, that would be a dick move.
That's something that you and Steve used to be able to do.
Back in the day. What do you guys think? What do you think of our floating island museum with the uber powerful curator yet to be defined permanently? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can support us over on Patreon.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.